What's happening, people? What's happening? Listen, um, I just want to reach out because there's been there's two there's two topics of concern that's all over social media, and one is the Cheesecake Lady. The other is the Will and Jada situation. Let's talk about the Cheesecake Lady first. I think the problem and issue that you have, and that is that I don't know if that was a skit or if that was something that was real. I hope and pray that it was something of a skit, but nowadays you really don't know. And you know, the factor is that it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. When you got someone that really truly comes in and they give evaluations on themselves, and is it really a true assessment? Because yes, of course, we're going to always rate ourselves more than what we are. You know, guys do it with our private, we do it with our private parts. Some guys do, some guys don't. But for the guys, you know, there's guys out there that want to measure themselves based upon their manhood. You got some guys who want to base themselves based upon their monetarily growth and compensation. And then you got other guys that want to come in based upon their physical physique. And those are the luring parts or the hooks that draw you in. And then hopefully with conversation, you'll be able to determine whether or not we are mating or, you know, relationship, friendship, all of these different ships in it. So it will be in that aspect. Because I mean, it's just, let's be realistic. If you look at the animal culture, you know, when birds go out there and they flop they you know, they puff up they chest and they make these different sounds. All of it is a mating ritual. And based upon what it is that female is attracted to is going to determine what she goes after. All women are not going to go after the guy that's physically fit and that type of deal. Some females are going to like big guys. Some females are going to like skinny guys. Some females are going to like, you know, hood dudes, you know, hot-tempered dudes, or toxic dudes, you know. There's going to be females that just like that. They that's what they like. Now, if that's what you like and that's what you attract, don't get upset when you think that you're getting someone that's different than what you attracted. And first of all, what I mean by that is that you have to know what it is that you're attracting. You have to come to grips with, I'm the one who is choosing this person in my life. What is making me keep choosing the same type of person and still getting the same results out of it that I keep getting on each and every one? And ladies, I've done the survey. Pound for pound, most of your guys that are settled into a lot of different things, and they kind of just go different, they go certain places and then they go home and they chill, and they have no problem with chilling at the crib. Those type of men search for peace and friendship and fellowshipping rather, because you don't necessarily have to be a friend, but you can respect the fact that we're fellowshipping together. And that's the one thing that we find in the cigar culture, is that you have a bunch of guys that if they were not in the same, if the shoes were different, y'all might not even attract or be around one another. But because you are sitting there enjoying a cigar and a good drink or a good spirit, and you have conversations that can be talked on, then that's when you'll become, y'all fellowshipping. Y'all ain't necessarily got to like the same. Y'all don't like the same things, but there's one thing that you guys like that has a precedence over it because of the amount of time that you spend in that location. I mean, if you look at the average cigar, if you do a lounge, the average person is going to stay anywhere between 2 to 6 hours. That's after working on Sundays. And then don't let it be a football weekend, because, I mean, you'll be in there all day. And that's what you get. You're going to get some guys that are going to be abrasive, but you also going to get some guys that you can just sit back and y'all just laugh and chill, and everybody doing their own thing. Ain't nobody sitting back worried about any of that. So you have to be in that understanding. And then females, there's going to come across a time where you're gonna want that guy that's just, his job is just one thing, and that one thing, if you are that type of guy, usually those guys don't have a lot to offer. They kind of doing their thing because they understand that's their job. Their job is to beat the brakes, attempt to beat the brakes, and just do what they want to do. Period. That's what they want to do. And what they want to do is parlay. And what I mean by that, is that they'll be very cool with going into a job once or twice a week, and going into a job once or twice a week with the mindset of, hey, listen, this is all I want. As long as I got enough money to buy me something on, that I can split and cut and do all of that kind of stuff with, and eat me some pizza or ramen noodles or some chicken fingers or some McDonald's and Burger King, then understand that that's what you're dealing with, But then, ladies, understand that once you come up into a different situation of men and a man, it's going to take more than just a body, because at some point in time, that body is you're going to look at that body like she's fine as hell, but man, I ain't got the time or the energy. I got enough on my plate as it is. And so you learn how to pick and choose your situation, your battles, and things of that nature. And as you get older, you can identify when trouble comes. What your boy said, it be letting you know evil lurks. And when you can identify and understand, okay, I see the plot before it even comes in, and understand there's going to be some chess players out here and there's going to be some checker players out here. And what you really want to do is become a chess player, so that you can utilize your brain to effectively see light outside of a box. You know, there's a lot of people out here that only sees life inside a structure. You know, we have to get to the point where we can start seeing things outside the box, because it makes us become innovative. It makes us become, you know, not just going on a system and saying, hey, this, and this, and this, but, you know, if I make my company $400,000 a month and they pay me what I make, that's not equal. It's not an equal situation. I'm doing the work. Yeah, you pay me, but I do the work, and this is what I bring in. And when you look at the value of what you bring into a company and what you get paid at from a company, that's when that will be the first thing that'll make me say, oh, why is this? You know, it's a movie that came out some years back called Cadillac Records. Beyonce Knowles did it. She was executive producer on it. And that was a part when Chuck Berry was sitting down, and they sat down in his spot, and he says, the guy says, I'm going to make you famous and I'm going to make you rich, wealthy. Chuck Berry said, hey, let's switch seats. You can be famous all you want. I want to be wealthy. And understand that when you start talking about that, that makes you talk about holding yourself accountable. Because in your early part of your life, your 20s, you know, going into your 30s, and some people take it into their 30s all the way. It's a part that you got to sit back and say, okay, all right, I party, but when is enough going to be enough? I party, and I know I need to straighten this out because I'm getting reckless. And I may have a couple of scares, whether, you know, if I'm in my 20s and I you know, someone maybe you thought was caring, as a man, you're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Because those are your signs that, hey, you're going reckless. You're going reckless. And if you're able to get out of this, or not be in this situation, or if it's a false call, hey man, learn from that situation. Learn from it. Learn from it. Learn from it. Cats don't want to learn, and they get caught up, and they get caught up, and they get caught up, because I'm going to tell you this right now, as beautiful as it is, and I think that childbearing is as a man, that's one of the best gifts I can ever have. That's the greatest rich I can ever have. I love all my children, and I tell them constantly, you know, that I love them and I'm proud of them. Because what you have to do is change the atmosphere of how you do things. You have to change the atmosphere of how you look at situations and how you approach situations. So you have to realize that, hey, what can I do that'll get me out of the situation that I'm in? I've used this metaphor once before, and that is that, you know, sometime when you go through life, there's going to be hills and valleys. Hills are always great because you can see everything from the top of the hill. You know, even when you start to go down the hill, you're elevated so high to the point where you can still see for miles. But when you start to go down and get into that valley, you got to realize the slope that you came down in that valley, you got to now you got to walk your way all the way up against the odds. Because the terrain is not going to be the best. But what you should learn from that is that when I start to see myself going down a hill, let me build a bridge where I don't have to go down deep into that valley. I may take a little bump here, but it's a lot easier to recover from a little bump than a big bump, or digging yourself out of that hole. So what I would advise people to do is that as you see yourself get ready to decline and go down, start to build that bridge so that you can laterally move across and you can get back up on top. So hey, I always enjoy talking with you guys, having conversations about cigars and just things of life. It's refreshing, But I need to get to the subjects. I apologize. The young lady at Cheesecake Factory. First of all, you need to understand your value. Understand what it is that you're worth. Like when you're looking in the mirror, don't let that mirror be one of those funny mirrors that you see in the house of mirrors. It kind of warps you all kind of ways, because you're not getting a true reflection of yourself. And people, stop looking through cracked mirrors thinking that everything is fixed. When you look through a cracked mirror, you got to understand there's multiple levels of things, multiple layers of things that are going on, and you can't see yourself in a fullness. See, the only time that you can see yourself in a fullness is if you got a full mirror. No cracks, no blemishes, no smudges, no nothing. That's when you can evaluate, hey. But when you have a cracked glass, each piece that you look at, you're looking at a full person, but you're just a portion of the full meal. You're a portion of the full mirror. So if we get stuck on this portion of the glass that we're stuck on, we got to realize there's several other pieces that are around us that you're not even looking at, because you're stuck on this one piece. You're not trying to repair it. You're not trying to glue it back together. You're not trying to do any of that because you're stuck in that one position. Sometimes you got to pull yourself back and say, hey, listen, why am I acting like this? What is making me act this way? And then on the other subject with Jada and Will, man, let that man go. Let that man go. Let him go. Because what you're bringing is confusion and chaos. You're bringing chaos to that man, and that man, nobody knows what you guys have, what arrangements you guys have. Only thing we know is what you guys tell us. So the information that is out there, it's difficult when you're trying to explain yourself after people done judge you. Remember what I said, everybody gets judged. Even if they tell you that they're in a no judge zone, they still judge you. I heard a young lady today say, well, we don't know what they're going on in their house, and it's good that she can, come on. That's that chatter box. I mean, you're just talking just to talk, because at the end of the day, what has he got caught up in that has brought this type of embarrassment to this family? What do we know about him that's, for a fact? What do we know for him that's a fact? Not a rumor, a fact that is out there. And at the end of the day, that man has not done anything that will just constantly keep reminiscing and bringing stuff up over, bringing it back over. And sometimes you have to realize, I mean, People go through moves in their life, and sometimes people, that's why they say men go through their midlife crisis. And with their midlife crisis, they usually go out there and do all that other kind of stuff outside, or they buy fast cars, because they want to reminisce and remember the times that when they were younger. They still think they got it. They still think that they can rumble. They still think that they can dunk the ball. I'm a fan of that. I mean, my mind can tell me that I'm doing what I'm doing, but my body, it says, "Hey, whoa, Kemosabe, you need to slow down." I never forget a time when I played my son. It was basketball, and he was about 13. No, I take that back. He was about 16, and we playing, and I'm noticing this cat is just all around the spot. When I go try to reach down for the ball, he done already swooped it up, and I'm like, whew, okay, he came to play. So of course, what I did is I did the daddy shit. So I did the daddy stuff. I overpowered him. I said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna see if you're a man. I'm not gonna sit here and let you just walk away with a win because you out hustle me. I got to think smarter." So I put my body to him, and that body is to let him know that, hey, listen, in life it's gonna get physical, and sometimes you're gonna have to get physical. But pick and choose your battles. And, pick and choose when you need to pick up that ball before you catch a hernia or pop a hammy or your body just break down. So long story short, I beat my son in the game. And after I won that game, he was like, "Hey, you want to play again?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good." Because at that point, I realized he'll get me the next time. If I'm playing back-to-back, it's only so much of the body they're going to go, because at the end of the day, hey, man, your body just don't respond like it used to. So, hey, understand that. Understand that what you're going through and things that you're seeing, get smarter. You shouldn't be doing the same thing that you were doing at 20, 30 years old. What folks say, that's backwards hustling. So I'm going to get ready to go get me a smoke. Enjoy the rest of this day. It's a little overcast, a little windy. The sad part about it, they're talking about it's going to be 78 degrees on Wednesday. And I'm sitting here saying, this is some crazy, take care of yourself. Keep you guys bundled up, and whatever you have to do to stay healthy. Stay healthy. Eat good, drink good, have good thoughts. Think about your life. Smoke well, my friends. You guys enjoy. Be good.